Unofficial fighting in eastern Ukraine continues to draw in volunteers from other parts of the country. Since pro-Russian separatists forced Ukrainian troops out of Debaltseve in mid-February after the Minsk ceasefire agreement was signed, there have been sporadic exchanges of fire. Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko has called it a pseudo ceasefire and said nearly 11,000 Russian troops are currently deployed in Ukraine. Peter Filipovich lives just a few kilometers from the Hungarian border in Ukraine's western extremity. He tells us, when they agreed to the Minsk protocol, we got the heaviest shelling and the so-called recapturing of Debaltseve. That's how we experienced their commitment to Minsk. Uzhhorod, the capital of the Transcarpathia region, was once Hungarian. Mostly Ukrainians live here now. Right at the Slovakian border and only 26 kilometers from Hungary, it's both a gate to the European Union and an example of EU ideology. Ethnic Hungarians, Slovaks, Russians and Germans live in peace together with Ukrainians, respecting each other's culture and religion. Journalist Attila Ster says nobody suffers any disadvantage from his or her native language here in multicultural Uzhhorod. If there are any tensions, they're imported. External forces come to Transcarpathia. Laszlo Brężowicz, the only ethnically Hungarian MP in the Ukrainian parliament, says that although Uzhhorod's streets are peaceful, it still feels that the country's at war. He says the war affects Transcarpathia just as hard as any other part of Ukraine. Recruits are sent. Hundreds of people are involved in eastern Ukraine operations. Filipovich came back from the tension zone 2 weeks ago. He said it was natural for him to go and fight for Ukraine because he lives there. Ironically, most of the men in his unit speak Russian, although all of them except him are ethnic Ukrainian. And they're fighting against Russian-speaking soldiers. They need a road to Crimea, he says. They need Donbass, they need Donetsk and Luhansk. The main objective is a land route to Crimea. They get support from Russia. I mean ammunition, not bread or canned food. The pro-Russian separatists don't follow any orders from outside their units. They have their own commanders, but they don't listen to anybody from higher positions. And who is helping the Ukrainian soldiers defend the country? Filipovich tells Euronews that mostly it's volunteers. The government doesn't help much. It helps, but not as much as ordinary people, volunteers. They come by coach every week, with clothes or other goods. Not ammunition, other equipment. For example, thermal cameras. This is a war, like in the movies, but here the shooting is real.